listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to our Front Porch. Welcome to another edition of The Front Porch Show, 1-402-799-1811. That is our message line number 24/7. It is free for you to call or text. You can text the message line number. I found that out the other day when we got a text that said, "Are you serious?" I have no idea what the context was, but we got the text, and we have no idea who it was from. Got Jeff off to one side, otherwise known as Karen.
So someone
that's
definitely...
not legit. Did they listen to the show? Because they must not, because that's
because they would know the answer's no.
Oh, it's completely, yeah.
No, that's right,
So,
right.
What that may mean is they thought we were a live show, in which case, that's awesome.
Right. I mean, either way. Audience participation is beautiful.
We are getting some feedback.
By the way, did you see the thing on Facebook last night targeted at you, Karen? I mean, Jeff.
Oh yes.
Wasn't that excellent? The parking space.
I did see it.
Yep. Come on,
good.
Karen.
It was good.
Aslan has culturally appropriated a joke, and then somehow people are jumping on board.
I love it. It's beautiful. And of course.
So my question is, how did you get out of the car?
I just stay in the car. At Target. I don't even go in.
He sent his wife in. He made his wife climb out.
Yes,
that's right.
Of course, Jeff, Ozzy, we're all here.
You know, if you park there, that you don't get any like dings or dents from carts or anything. No other car doors hit your car doors.
I'm not gonna lie, I would be the idiot that would like throw a cart at that car.
Well, yes, there's that.
Like, I'm just going for it.
You don't get any dings or dents on three sides of your car.
Just your rear bumper.
Just your rear bumper.
Guys, do you know what's terrible is that by the time the good audience is listening to the show this week, we will have added an hour to our day. Or not.
Magic.
You're welcome.
This is the worst time of year.
We'll have just gone back in time.
We'll just gone back in time. We've invented an hour.
Yes.
Invented an hour.
We're
courtesy of the federal government.
Oh,
I'm refusing to set my clock back, and then at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, I'll now be in the future, and you guys will just all be behind me.
Yep, keep thinking that, Karen.
No, look, this frustrates me to no end with children.
Oh, I agree.
Because children cannot adjust.
No, they have no concept of the time. That's why.
No.
I have one kid, my 7-year-old can tell time, but she still doesnn't have 6.5-year-old still doesn't have an exact grasp about what all that means.
No, it's still they're still in the eat, sleep,
gone.
and bark phase of their lives. That's all they do.
That would be a dog.
I mean, that's a dog. I'm sorry. Eat, sleep, and cry. But it's so,
and Child Protective Services is on their way.
It's so frustrating. I was hanging out with a group last night, and I told them, I was like, look, guys, if I run for politics, that's going to be the only thing I stand on. Like that's my only policy right there. If I get daylight savings time or whatever the stupid time change is abolished, that will be my mission. That would be my mission. I don't want to change anything else. I don't want to fix anything else.
Right.
Economy, just
this has to be like the one bipartisan issue out there, like
seriously,
ending daylight savings time.
Why are we still okay with this? I mean, I never understood it. Honestly, I never understood it to begin with.
So everyone says, "Oh, we started
farmers,"
but that's not even true either. Think about it.
I never understood that. I never understood that.
If farmers needed it back in the day, right? That would assume that they weren't getting up when the sun came up and weren't
right.
It doesn't make any flaming sense.
Exactly.
It's true because as the year moved on, like before alarm clocks. As the year went on, you would just wake up earlier or later as the sun came up.
Exactly.
And go to bed when the sun came down. Yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Your cows still have to be milked at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. It doesn't matter. Your cows don't want to be milked an hour later. They're going to protest.
Just because the time has moved doesn't mean that it's worth.
All of a sudden, you're going to show. All of a
bad.
sudden, you're going to show up at the barn, and your cows are going to have guns.
Cows with
I'm
guns.
confused.
That's
How did
right.
we get there?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Your cows
wanted to
your
try to
cows are going to
reference that.
revolt. Yeah, I was. It was lame. It was a
But
dad joke.
It was a bad cow pun.
It really no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I would actually call it a cow flop. It was a bad pun. It was a flop. The joke flopped. Anyways,
But,
So did
uh,
that
but
one.
I've never heard of a cow flop. Like I've heard of cow tipping, cow pies.
I've heard of cow pie bingo. Now that's a thrill.
we did that one year. I
Did
did that
you?
with
That's
some friends
awesome.
one year. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
was
But
fun.
seriously though, I don't understand what daylight savings time is. Like I've heard from people now that it's like, oh well, we want the kids to basically
Not
to
go
get
home
run over.
and run over.
Not
Okay.
to get run over at 7 in the morning when they're standing
move
outside.
the time of school. Move the time of school.
You can't do that because government.
No, I don't know that you need
It's
to move
true.
the time of school. It's just sometimes it's dark out, sometimes it's light out. Use headlights on your cars and get a coat with reflective
This is
strips
what-
on it.
This
I
is
don't
what
know.
people- this is what people need to do is they need to just move to Alaska, solve your problem. You're welcome.
So in Vermont, I drove school bus for 8, 9, 10 months. I don't know. It was ridiculous. I hated it. We've talked about it on the show before. Driving school bus was terrible. Living in Vermont, kind of,
was also terrible,
especially with the liberal influence. So I would get to my first stop at 7 a.m. It was just getting light. Sun's just coming up.
Yeah.
I was dropping off kids at 4:15 in the evening, and it was getting dark.
Isn't that nuts?
It was ridiculous.
That's what drives me.
It was terrible.
That sounds like
can't-
winter.
I can't stand that.
It was winter, but
That is like the most depressing time of the year. It's like the perfect combination of depression because you have, like you can go to work at 4 in the morning before it's light, and then you can get out right before the sun sets.
Yep. Best day of the year, December 21st. Time start the length of day starts going the other way.
Man, you guys take this. way
Oh yeah,
Listen,
Jeff.
I will die on this mountain.
No,
Yes.
the time change is stupid. Like we just need to just either pick standard time or savings time.
Yeah, I
and
don't care
just
what we
stay
pick.
in it.
I don't care what we pick.
Exactly.
Let's just stop
No,
changing
I
the
think-
clocks.
That's
I
not
think
going
we
to
need to
change
say-
the whole.
I
It's
vote
dark
for-
when you go to work and dark
No,
when you
it's
come
not.
home.
It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
it will. Yes, it will because they'll be added one more hour of light.
No, that's not how it works. It just
It is
shifts
how
where
it
the
works.
hours of light.
It is how
are.
it works. It is how it works. Because
Well,
if you go at 7 instead of the sun coming up at 7 o'clock, it'll come up at 8 o'clock, which means that instead of it setting at 4 o'clock, it'll set at 5 o'clock. Proven wrong. Booyah, Karen.
What? So it'll be dark when you come home. I'm confused.
No, the point is that it is getting dark later, and what they do is they basically move
It's
the
getting
clock.
dark earlier.
Right, sorry. And they're just moving the clock back so that way the sun rises at an earlier time. Not actually rises, but you know what I'm saying. Rises at an earlier time. Which means that instead of keeping it as it is now and the sun setting at 5 o'clock, the sun is now going to be setting at 4 o'clock so that you can have that extra hour of sunlight in the morning so that kids don't get run over by buses, apparently.
Which is a what is your bus doing going that fast? That it's just running kids over.
I think the sad thing is I think Aaron has legitimized that argument. Just because
You notice he was only a bus driver for a few months.
I was only a bus driver for a few months, guys.
Did you make it to daylight savings time?
Unfortunately, both of them.
Well, you know, there's counties that don't observe it
Well, there's
in certain states.
Yes.
Arizona
Yeah,
for one.
Some states, and then I think there's like parts of certain states that don't observe it.
We ran into that in Indiana back in the 90s. We were in a county that was like you could go over 1 and it would be an hour earlier.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there was counties in Indiana that didn't observe and some that did. Yeah.
I think the whole state does now, if I'm not wrong.
What was the progress
changed,
in
but-
Florida? Florida wanted to get rid of this. So there's Florida.
It doesn't
weird.
matter
Anyways.
in Florida because Florida, it doesn't change that much.
Florida's on Florida time. Yeah, but it does, but it doesn't because
because the closer you get down to the equator, the
doesn't
less
really matter.
it actually changes.
But you're still changing the time, and the issue being they were estimating that $500 million in healthcare costs are escalated because of this. Like
in what way?
When you change the time, and throw off your circadian sleep rhythm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Big
Throwing out
terms.
big words. It actually affects your heart. And so for like 2 weeks after the time change, because you're trying to adjust to this new schedule, your heart is not getting the proper rest that it needs and stuff.
Huh.
And so health issues from
Or you could just go to
time.
bed at the same.
I think you
could go to bed at the same sun time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You just kind of just ignore the time change and you rearrange your schedule around it. I talked to Alyssa about it. She was against this idea.
I think you could also make that claim for children.
Right, exactly. You just send them to bed at the same time, and who cares?
I'm not gonna lie. Like for the first couple of weeks, we kind of just let them assume what time it is and go to bed early.
Yeah.
I mean, but then the other half of the year it works the other way against you then because they'd be going to bed late.
It comes back.
And
kills
that's
you.
the worst. That's the worst thing right there.
Yeah, it's like 9:00 and your kids are still not tired, and you're like, oh,
go
my gosh.
to bed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why they make ZQL for kids or whatever. The little melatonin gummies, and you just
there you go.
Yeah.
So
one of those in there, and
so front porch family. Monday morning, you're gonna listen to the show, and just know that this past weekend you were completely screwed over by the government again for no reason.
Well, way to sugarcoat that.
all right.
I told you
that was the happy segment.
I told you.
It got real serious that last 2 seconds.
Guys, we on the Front Porch Show try to maintain the edge on cultural relevance and bringing you hard-hitting movie reviews like all other shows out there that are...
Yes. We are the go-to source
What are those?
For key cultural analysis.
What are the two guys, Rogers and
Hammerstein.
Rogers and Hammerstein. Yes,
that's music. I think it's Eberts or something like that.
Roger and
Eberts or something like that.
Didn't one of them die though? Now see that's terrible.
We'll go with that.
Probably.
I kind of feel terrible about that. I mean, I don't know if
Do we? Why?
what?
No, never mind. Anyway, all right. So movie reviews.
Yeah, movie.
Oh no, the guy's name was Roger Ebert. That was one.
Oh, was
guy.
it really? That's all. Oh. So who was the other guy?
Rogers and Hammerstein were music.
Yeah, I knew that.
It's Ebert and you're right because there was two
Siskel
guys.
and Ebert.
It was
No,
no.
that's a store.
Oh. Wait, what?
Well, you go with your reviews. We'll figure it out.
So you figure that out, Jeff, while we're talking here. So
you said Siskel.
yeah, is that it? Not Costco. No. Anyways.
Yeah, it's Siskel and Ebert.
So
Siskel and Ebert. Yeah.
Ozzy and I spent some hard time. Well, you spent 10 minutes, Ozzy, checking out the documentary for the Hobby Horse Revolution, which we talked about 2 weeks ago now.
A little bit, yeah.
And we were going to talk about last week, and we ran out of time. And
thank goodness,
guys.
It's a shame,
guys. This is. I can't say for sure whether this is real or not, but the people in it think it's real. These basically it follows the lives of these tweens, and they're not tweens because they're like older than that. They're like 13, 14 years old, and they are riding around dressage style and hunter style hobby horses.
I said this last time, and then I said it a time again, and I'll say it again. I think it's the parents. It's got to be the parents. It's got to be the parents who are just cheap, and they're like have convinced their teens or tweens or whatever these people are that that it's so much better doing this than having a real horse.
I want to know like how serious of a documentary it is. Like, is it? Are they interviewing these people?
Yeah.
Yes.
do.
Like they don't actually sit down. Like it is. Like
it starts off with like this girl who's got to be, I don't know, 14 or 16 or something like that, and she makes hobby horses, and she goes on talking about it and stuff.
There's one girl who she's an adult and she's making the hobby horses.
Oh, maybe
like
it's
the
her.
The worst part is they like.
I'm not sure. I gave up about like 10 minutes in.
Jeff, they all show up at like people's houses to train, and they like have a stable set up for the hobby horses. And they're like,
man.
"Oh, did you feed Fluffy?
There's got to be ethical treatment of these hobby horses.
Did you feed Fluffy? I mean,
what do you feed a unicorn hobby horse?
I don't know.
What do you feed a hobby horse?
I don't know, but I want one.
Do you have like fake tea parties for these things or something?
You might.
So was this? I mean, was it watchable? Was it in English? Was it?
No. So this was in total Finnish. Which made it very complicated.
So you're just watching this with subtitles on the whole time?
Yes.
Did it have a traditional fish slapping
It's like
song?
the only thing that was in English were the curse words that these little girls were throwing around.
Classic.
Yeah. You know that was it was beautiful.
I'm glad we're exporting our culture all over the world.
Yeah,
we're awesome.
It was
America,
guys. It may have been the most disturbing documentary I've seen in a long time.
You've got to be on some sort of list for watching this.
Oh,
yeah, seriously.
I watch lots of weird documentaries and stuff, so this doesn't shock me.
It's probably not a good list from the description you've been giving.
No, I mean,
you're being watched by the government.
I'm being watched by the government. Well, but then again,
what we're gonna do? We're gonna see like a SWAT team break. We're gonna see a SWAT team break into your house.
Don't make me release the rods.
Yes,
don't make me release the rods.
Keep that finger on the button, Jeff. Keep that finger on the button. Don't let it go. It's one of those dead man switches.
So what are your complete thoughts about this movie? What is your review?
Yeah. So is the hobby horse revolution coming to America?
How many Adirondack chairs would you give it out of 10?
I would give it a 1 out of 10 Adirondack chairs.
And that Adirondack chair is in a bonfire.
Mainly because I had to spend the 2 hours reading the bottom of the screen.
Sorry.
That was very challenging for me.
Reading or
reading? Yes, reading was definitely challenging.
The reading was the very difficult part. So I give it a 1 out of 10. Do not watch. Do not watch.
So speaking of reading the screen, what did you think of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon then? Too much action, or enough action that you had to ignore the subtitles at the bottom of the screen?
I don't know if I ever made it through the whole movie.
What? Oh man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
all right. Anyway,
so moving on to other
give us something that's more in the action genre.
So
that's what we
the
really
action
want.
genre. Rocket Man. Mike Hughes.
Yes. Not Elton John.
So Ozzy and I also watched
the classic Rocket Man.
Yeah, no, don't get excited.
It wasn't me.
We're gonna get sued.
So
that was so close to being.
I know, it was so close to being Elton John.
No, they're not even going to recognize that was an Elton John song.
So anyway, so this is Rocket Man, which is about Mad Mike Hughes,
stuntman,
which could be the
he
insane
was a stuntman.
third cousin of Howard Hughes.
This guy. Well, I don't know. I mean, he did try and fly. So his great stunt idea, which came to him while he was sleeping, was to jump cars with a limo,
which was pretty impressive. I gotta say,
pretty impressive. But I think this man just has a death wish. Personally,
I think he may have hit his head a few too many times.
Jumping cars with a long car is pretty cool.
Yeah, if you're not crazy.
I love the drama of when he's getting out of the limo, though. I love the
I know.
drama where he kind of like
It's-
rolls out and just lays there.
Yes.
And the crowd's
Yes.
completely silent until he stands up.
Yes.
Did
Yes,
all the
great.
drinks and snacks in the back of the limo survive the jump?
Oh, that's. A
I
good
doubt
question.
it. I doubt
The
it. Everything's
passengers
spilled.
survived the
Yeah,
jump.
Yeah, where are the passengers?
This dude never saw it coming. He's like, he got picked up on a limo. It's like,
Some kids get picked up
it's
for
some
prom, and
teenager
next thing you know,
yes.
they're just launching through the air.
That's great.
Was that the limo that picked my son up? What just happened?
Oh man. So yeah, the guy's a nutcase, but
So
the
why do they
guy-
call him Rocket Man?
So
Well,
the
actually,
guy
we've talked
builds-
about him, so I
the
know.
guy
But
builds. All right, so he's a flat earther. He builds a rocket,
Flurf.
a flurfer.
a steam powered rocket. Nonetheless, I didn't know that was actually a thing, other than like little model rockets.
It probably wasn't like Wild Wild West or something.
I don't see how he's going to survive on a steam powered rocket. I think the max height he got was like 12 or 1600
no, it's
feet or something like that.
1800.
Did he? I thought he made it
The
to like
first-
300 feet.
Well, that was the first.
That was the
one.
first time.
That was the first time when he almost killed himself because he pulled his parachute too early, roasted the parachute with the steam that was coming out, and
Classic.
then plummeted to Earth. So the second time,
He'd get higher if he just bought a ticket up One World Trade Center, which is kind of expensive, but it's got to be cheaper than building a rocket.
he needs to just send his cats up. This man is like a creepy cat lover.
The man is a creepy cat man.
Oh my gosh, He is
That's
so
all you need to know
strange.
right there.
Which
Oh,
that
he is so
that
strange.
brings up the whole point. He's offended if you diss his
Insult
cat or
cats
his hair.
Sounds
Which
like
he had-
Ozzy.
He had like hair like Doc in Back to the Future.
Okay.
It was like, Psah!
So,
Like,
so for a Rocket Man, having
Oh,
hair like Doc
can't
from Back
help
to
Oh,
the
it was
Future
solid.
is perfect.
It was solid.
it is. Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh,
the
definitely.
guy looks like a mad scientist.
Yes, and he kind of is basically.
My favorite person is his landlord, though.
Yes.
His like dude's like Italian. He's like kind of looks like back in the day he was like really buff. He's got the short hair, but the boxy
necklace?
head.
Gold necklace.
Yep.
Yeah, basically that guy. He like kind of walks in like this, kind of talks a little, and like the guy's just a riot because he's bought into this totally.
Oh yeah,
man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
has.
there's a
All right,
crew
so-
of like 4 of them who are absolutely bat crap crazy.
and it's all these older guys too, or they all have to be like 50 plus at least.
Yeah,
Because I think 2 or 3 of them are retired, and it's just like one of them's like the main guy that is helping him builds model rockets, and so he decided that
There you go.
in the beginning of the movie he tells you this, that he's like, well, I thought basically, you know what, this is a good way to make money.
oh yeah. So
His
Wait,
entire reasoning.
Did you
is-
see? Did
is
you
just
see the
to literally
movie?
get money
Speaking
off
of
this
movies,
guy.
did you see the movie Flight of the Phoenix?
No.
is that the one where they build?
It's like World War
airplane-
II
yes,
era.
yes,
the
yes,
airplane
yes.
crashes in the
Yeah,
desert,
so they
and
build
they end
the,
up rebuilding
yeah.
it and flying it out of there.
Yep, yeah. I remember that.
Should I spoiler alert this?
I mean,
How old
like
is it?
15
designer-
years.
Well, it's older than that because the original was a Jimmy Stewart. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The newer one had Dennis Quaid. The
I remember
German aeronautical engineer who helps him design this whole airplane. They end up finding out just before they fly it, he designs model airplanes.
Yes, that's awesome.
So see, there's precedent.
Same thing.
There's
It's same
precedent
thing.
there.
Same thing.
So that was a spoiler alert,
So-
by the way,
but
because it's like
still-
a big.
But still, are you
plot.
willing, like at least in model aircraft, like there is, pretty basic things of flight.
Yeah, thrust to weight ratio is a lot
Putting-
different, but
Putting somebody in a rocket that is big, like a model rocket guy.
what's the budget on this rocket?
well, the budget on this rocket was nothing.
$1,000.
But the
couple
the thing
thousand
is,
bucks.
he's using this to raise money for his future pursuits.
He's $2 million. He thinks he's going to subvert NASA, get into space with $2 million.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
no.
So
But
him
then
or
he can't get the money for
Musk, who built it better then? Elon or Rocket Man?
Well,
Who built it better?
for the money,
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
But you know what though? Elon Musk wouldn't have any problem raising that money just on a whim because
he'd sell another flamethrower.
Right. He would just go, you know what? I'm going to do a flamethrower 2.0 to raise the money.
Which I heard Pablo Escobar's son is suing him for the flamethrower design, but
funny.
That's another story.
So he's attempting to go to space. He's going to be launched.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to laugh when he beats Elon and NASA to the moon.
While attached to a rocket, he's going to be launched up.
Yes, so he's going to be basically
physically attached.
From my understanding,
like riding it like Wile E. Coyote, like Acme just reach back and light the fuse.
All right, so from my understanding, I'm assuming that this is like a stage thing where he gets different stages, but essentially he will be attached to the bottom of, I guess, the second stage of the rocket or something.
Yeah.
And then the top of the rocket will have more rockets on it. So once he gets to a certain height, that part will rocket, like go off and then carry him into the atmosphere while he's being dragged behind this thing. So
super. And then you said something
crazy.
about helium?
Helium.
Yeah.
Some sort of helium hat pulling him up towards the
thing is like
a helium hat.
What's going to happen?
So when he gets up there and he sees the world's flat, and it's going to be like, guys, I was right all along. The world's flat.
Or then it's going to crash into the dome and then piss off the turtle.
Well, right, exactly. Okay, guys. So what happens when he sees the turtle and you've got the straw sticking out of his nose?
He's there. He's stuck in the dome. you got the earth
got it just hanging off there.
And you look down, and the turtle's just got like a 6-pack ring.
Just like the straw hanging there.
There's still like one more beer that's still like dripping because.
Oh my goodness,
that's awesome.
guys!
That's terrible. We're going to get so much hate mail for mocking pollution. I know. But that's what it is. The plastic's gotten so bad that even the turtle the Earth is riding on is stuck in the 6-pack ring.
Guys, another movie reference. I sat down and I watched The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot this week with Sam Elliott and Eden Turner.
Oh boy!
Oh my! How did that go? How was that?
Is this another documentary? So you watched 2 documentaries?
Basically, yes. Solid flick. Solid flick.
Was it? I heard it was like not as funny as I thought it was.
It was a solid flick until halfway through it. It's not a comedy. It's more of a drama.
It's a documentary.
Solid flick until halfway through when they introduce when Mike Judge from Office Space as an FBI agent introduces him to the concept that they have to kill Bigfoot because Bigfoot's harboring some disease that's going to kill humanity, and Sam Elliott has to go kill Bigfoot.
Now, so does Sam Elliott play Hitler? Because we all know that Hitler committed suicide. So the man who killed Hitler and the Bigfoot would therefore have to be Hitler himself. Is this like Hitler's ghost killing Bigfoot?
Mass conspiracy theory. Government hid the fact that Hitler was killed because the Allies didn't like the fact that Hitler was killed, and they like perpetuating. Guys, I don't know. It's a movie. He kills Bigfoot.
Your movie selections are just
brilliant reviews.
Look, guys, I'm buying it. It was that bad. I love terrible movies.
That's how you judge. I'm sticking with The Lion King.
Now, some of you might think I've been busy writing my memoirs. I'm not concerned about my memoirs. I'm concerned about my resume. Here's what I've got so far. Career objective, to stay president. But being realistic, I would consider an executive position with another country. Of course, I'd prefer to stay within the G8. I've been getting a lot of tips on how to write it, mostly from my staff. They really seem to be up on this stuff. They tell me I have to use the active voice with a resume. You know, things like commanded U.S. Armed Forces, ordered airstrikes, served 3 terms as president. Everybody embellishes a little. Designed, built, and painted bridge to 21st century. Supervised vice president's invention of the internet.
The Clintons. Jeff, we've got a probable article from the Washington Post.
Yeah, headline from the Washington Post.
They've been producing some amazing obituary headlines.
Yeah, so this one, it's kind of backdated. They're just rolling it out now. It took them a while to get all the details straight, but the headline was austere vacation spot owner and childcare aficionado Jeffrey Epstein dies at age 66.
Very, very, yeah.
Apparently he was sadly alone in a small, dark space. And all the technology surrounding him just ceased to be working as he passed away. So we have no closure on his final moments.
It was a ghost.
Is that so? Well, I feel weird after that. Thank you for that.
Too soon. But yes, the WAPO, man, give me a break.
Well, right.
Austere religious scholar. That's what you're going to go with. And dies like he passed away in his sleep. Okay. For heaven's sake.
Guys.
I loved Trump's description was way better.
So good.
Yes.
You guys know me, military intervention. I'm not exactly the most war happy guy. I believe in judicious use of the military and non-interventionism.
I would say I'm a just war theory subscriber.
That was amazing. They turned his compound to dust. It was
Well,
gone.
you're talking afterward too, right?
Oh, yes.
They went after the compound afterward as well.
They leveled that sucker. There was nothing left. Even the stone walls were gone.
Because it's my understanding they got his number 2 or something a day or two later. The guy that potentially would have taken over for him, they wiped him out too, which isn't getting any coverage because
we're talking about al-Baghdadi.
Because the other thing is, besides writing atrocious headlines, they're fact-checking the poop out of a photoshopped picture of Trump giving the dog the Medal of Honor, and it's what?
Was that so funny?
I like that.
Oh my goodness!
So that wasn't the story that we were.
It wasn't what we're going to open with, but it fit there because
it does.
If you needed any proof, I get it. Trump attacks the media more than most, and sometimes he digs holes for himself. And I do have some concerns about too much government intervention in the media. But if you needed any evidence that they're essentially totally against you and everything this country is about, you need to look no further than the al-Baghdadi headline of austere religious scholar passes away at age 54 or whatever it is. Did Franklin Graham just die? Was it Martin Luther King Jr. or was it the most wanted terrorist in the world? Give me a break, okay? This is just absolutely
it is ludicrous.
It was blown out of proportion.
So
right.
So
you want something even more ridiculous?
Do it.
Please.
Keep
going. You're on
I'm setting you up.
I didn't realize I was getting set up. I mean, I'm going for it. This week, now this is where things get funky.
I said, more ridiculous.
Dr. Michael Baden, I'm not sure. He's on HBO's Autopsy. The brother of Jeffrey Epstein hired him to come in and take a look at the suicide.
He was present during the autopsy, correct? The New York Medical Examiner did it, but he was present during it or something.
I'm not sure if he actually was there during the autopsy, but I do know he looked at everything and came up with that the neck fractures that Epstein had to his hyoid bone and his thyroid cartilage are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and occur much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. I haven't seen it in 50 years where that occurred in a suicidal hanging case. So there's that. Basically what he's saying...
It wasn't the Clintons because there wasn't bullets.
2 to the back of the head. That's tombstone at thefrontporchshow.com. In case anyone's wondering. So I mean, Epstein... The whole thing is very curious. I mean, you couple that with the fact that the two guards who were supposed to be watching Epstein fell asleep.
Yes.
You couple
It
that
happens.
with the video going out all at the same time. Guards asleep, video goes out, and you have no records.
Well, and
Usually when that happens, you're being
his
attacked because
cellmate-
you're a terrorist.
and his cellmate was removed, and he somehow hung himself with paper-thin sheets.
Right.
And so
You got to watch out for the paper.
here's the thing, because this guy, this Baden, he even says, his observations are not conclusive, but he's just stating statistical facts that it's much, much more common that these injuries are in homicide by strangulation versus suicide by hanging. But okay, if we had any of the other things didn't happen, it would be much more believable that this is one of those freak cases where the injuries are similar to a homicide, but it was a suicide, because sometimes there's some overlap. But like you said, the video going out, the guards being asleep, the roommate not being there when he's supposed to be on watch, especially after he already tried to commit suicide once, supposedly. Okay. I don't know if you believe all of those coincidences just happened at the same time, and then the evidence seems to be more coincidentally toward a murder than a suicide. I don't know. I got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like the bridge of the 21st century. Bill Clinton built, designed, and painted it, and I'll sell it to you. Like I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
So I don't have a ton more to say about that, but I do have a funny clip for you guys. This is
Wait, is this still on the same topic?
Yeah, it is. So this is Trevor Noah asking Hillary Clinton how she killed Jeffrey Epstein.
Hillary, I have to ask you a question that has been plaguing me for a while. How did you kill Jeffrey Epstein? Because you're not in power, but you have all the power. I really need to understand how you do what you do, because you seem to be behind everything nefarious, and yet you do not use it to become president.
Anyways, yeah, he goes on and basically, exonerates her on everything she's ever said.
I don't know. It is just so extremely shady.
That laugh though, guys.
I just think that if Trump needs to put this out there and use this even as a campaign tactic. Like, I don't know, unless he is also somehow
the problem is
in
that
the names.
Yeah, right.
But who, like, if he's not, and here's the thing that I was hearing some other commentators say the other day, and I've had the same thoughts. I totally agree. With everything else the media has come up with about Trump, if there was even the slightest hint of his name being in the ledgers of Jeffrey Epstein's island and everything else, do you not think that they would be running with that everywhere in the media? So odds are pretty good that Trump's got nothing to do with it. And so if I were him, I would just be running the whole, look, you hired me to, drain the swamp and smash this political corruptness. And here is the utter example of people taking this guy out before people's names got exposed. I don't know.
We're going to find out that Hillary is Trump's hammer.
But what if he was never taken out? What if?
Oh, I've seen those articles.
What if he's still alive, and they're getting information from him? I mean, maybe the Queen of England herself came over and took him out.
They're not that smart.
I wouldn't want to mess with her.
Yeah,
she's a terrifying old woman.
Like, she's a granny I wouldn't want to mess with.
She'll smack you with her purse, man.
She's got corgis.
Masher.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Get out of here. We
Ozzy, this was a fascinating story.
I still can't get over that. I know I say this every week, but I still can't get over the guy that wow, right at everybody stop it. Wow. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I just picture Ozzy every time.
I would completely do that. Absolutely, I would do that.
I see no shame in it.
That's what we need to have. We need to have a front porch show cornhole tournament.
I like
it. We could call it the front yard.
We can have that. We can have that when we have the 0.5K.
Yeah.
You can play cornhole at the end
and scream.
I don't know if I'm going to be able. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play cornhole at the end of a 0.5K. To be honest,
you might be too tired.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. It's going to be rough having to use your arms instead of your legs.
It could be the front porch show triathlon or the front porch show Ironman, and you run a 0.5K, you play around a cornhole, and you eat like a dozen wings or something.
It could be it could be a triathlon. Yes. Yes.
I like the way you're thinking, Jeff.
Make it.
I may not call you Karen for the next hour.
That's good.
Because of this. It's a good idea.
I won't. Thanks for reminding me that we have to call him.
I know.
It's not even original, but that's okay.
I know.
I completely forgot.
Yeah. I was back on the Jeff thing until I remembered Karen. Until I saw that meme again.
Have you guys checked out this SS oh gosh, I can't even say it. Warrimoo. I don't know. It sounds like the villain from Doctor Strange.
I'm imagining.
I thought it was the villain from Mario.
I'm imagining
Wario.
I'm imagining like a strapped emu with like machine gun and and like gun belts and Warrimoo.
Oh boy.
The SS Warrimoo.
Have you seen the what is it? Emu? Lemu, whatever it is on the Progressive commercials.
The emu.
Yeah, those are hilarious.
I have not seen that. I'll have to check that out.
You should check those out. They're pretty funny.
So tell us about the SS Warrimoo.
So, let's see. Here we go. So back in the late 1800s, so I think it was 1898, I believe, 1898 to 1899. The SS Warrimoo.
It had to be 1899 to 1900.
Oh, maybe it's 1900.
For this to work.
No, you're right. So anyway, so it set sail from, I believe it is Vancouver to Australia. On the way, they figured out that, again, that it was the 31st of December and that they would be crossing the international date line. And they were happenstancely going to be crossing it just at midnight. And they
did some tweaking, I think.
They did some tweaking to get there, but basically what they were going to shoot for is being able to be in the middle of the equator on the national date line at midnight, which would mean that they were in two different centuries at once.
Well, no. It's not just that. They were in 2 different days, in 2 different months, in 2 different years, in 2 different seasons, and in 2 different hemispheres,
in 2
different centuries.
It's like Shipception or something.
Yes.
And actually 4 different, let's see here.
It's pretty awesome. So
it was actually in 4 different hemispheres, technically.
The super unimpressive.
If you use the international date line. So you got the north, south, east, west.
The only problem with this is it's not completely 100% confirmed. According to the crew and captain and everything, they did it. But that would be a hard sell, especially not having GPS or anything else to absolutely confirm where your position was. But it does make for a really cool story. So honestly, I don't even think anybody's ever done anything. Well, maybe they have. We should research to see if anybody else has ever done anything like this, trying to do it with 2 different things. I remember a story from a teacher that I had that was on a cruise, and they went they crossed over the international date line, and they got a newspaper for the same day twice. So
that's interesting.
Yes. I mean, Hillary was inside Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell, but she wasn't all at the same time.
Wow. That came out of nowhere.
two places at once. I mean,
No, Hillary never does the killing.
Oh, okay.
Unlike House of Cards, where he literally pushes somebody in front of a train, usually they get people to do their dirty work for
Are you
them.
calling Hillary Clinton Frank Underwood?
No, I'm calling her whatever Mrs. Underwood's name was. I forget.
What is her name? I don't remember. It's been like, 24 hours since I've watched an episode, so.
Didn't the creator of that show say he based the Underwoods on the Clintons?
I think it was
Or
averted
was that just
to.
rumor?
I think it was
that
averted
just
to.
rumor? Averted to? Alluded to?
Yeah, that's the word. Alluded to. I do know that I saw an interview with some folks who said that House of Cards is like a tamer version of what actually happens in Washington.
Oh, I get super depressed when I watch the show because I just believe that is everything that's happening. And you really get a feel. I think the biggest thing you get a feel for when you watch that show is how like they're not actually doing anything up. Like they don't care about any issues. It's all trading votes on this thing for votes on that thing, just so I can say I got my thing voted on. And like, unless you become the number one, like the speaker or the president or whatever, like I don't even understand what you're consolidating power for, because you're just a representative.
Yeah.
Like it's just really weird. It's all about power, but you don't quite have all the power. And I just don't understand it. It's very pretty insane. It's
very confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bizarre, man.
Sorry that we got off on that from International Dateline, but hey,
it's a fascinating discussion. Guys, I stumbled across a fascinating article this week, and so I started doing more research on it. Did you know we have a national radio quiet zone that covers approximately 13,000 square miles in parts of Virginia and in West Virginia?
What?
I don't know.
Basically, it's 13,000 square miles of no radio towers, television antennas, or heavy machinery unless it meets the strict guidelines set forth by the FCC.
Why?
They are, that's a good question. That's a very good question, Ozzy. And I will
I'm just curious. Is it just because it's that rule and it just
because all the people there got together and said EMF?
So this is
with their
you know what? This is
essential oils.
Are you ready? If you juked my segment by Hillary Clinton, why don't we go with this is actually where Area 51 is?
It could very well. It could very well be. It could
You're
very
welcome,
well be.
Earth. I found the Ark.
You found it, and if the Earth wasn't on the back of a turtle, that's where it would be.
Yep,
that's right. No, so this is a quiet zone set up to protect the Green Bank Observatory in the Allegheny Mountains, and this is located in Green Bank, West Virginia, and it is a super highly sensitive radio telescope pointed towards space. Obviously,
it was one of the original spots for SETI.
Yeah, absolutely.
This looks like that thing from James Bond. From Goldeneye.
Wasn't that the one?
That was the one.
That was the one in Puerto Rico.
Right?
That's the one in Puerto Rico. Which I also looked up. And they, I don't think, have a quiet zone around them.
How does a radio telescope work? Because I'm confused about that.
So every celestial body, including people, let off radio frequencies.
Based on it's just basically a giant, super powerful antenna. So when it's saying
that, like, we're trying to lose weight, but you don't have to call me a celestial body.
I don't know. You do have
your mama was
the gravitational
so
force.
big. She had her own gravitational pull. That was horrible. I'm sorry.
That wasn't even funny.
That wasn't funny.
That's like a 5-year-old.
Brought back elementary
your
school all again.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama. So, anyways, it's a very
work.
I don't know.
What?
Like,
you're supposed to know this.
It's, as Jeff said, it's just a big freaking antenna that picks up on the radio signals.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I think when it says radio telescope, it's not that there's no visual part to it.
Right,
it's literally it's a long range antenna basically that can be aimed in specific directions to try to pick up signals.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
that must make this place actually really nice. I'm
So-
not gonna lie.
so yeah,
Like,
there's-
that would probably be a really nice place to live. Would be
In-
around here. You wouldn't have
So
to
they
worry
turn
about
the
like,
antenna and the radio beam hits you and you grow up.
Does it emit radio waves though, or
I
does
have
it
no
just?
I think it's just
capture
picking up
radio
on them.
waves?
Well, they do send messages through it. So yes, it
to who?
can. Well, to
They're
whoever's
blasting
listening.
it out there, so if the aliens are searching for us,
So go to
that way the Covenant can find us.
Green Bank Observatory on Wikipedia, and you'll actually see the message they sent, I believe.
What does it say? Don't kill us.
No, it's just like a bunch of weird gibberish.
Epstein was framed.
I hope someone hacks it and the message being sent out is Epstein was murdered.
Oh, that might be the Puerto
Yes.
Rico telescope.
That says that.
Arecibo. No, the Arecibo telescope.
See, this would be funny. This would be one of those like really randomly hilarious things to hack because I can't see
This
anybody
is a
really
job
paying
for
that much.
people on like 4chan or something.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so anyways, yeah, national quiet zone, no Wi-Fi, very limited cell phone signals.
Interesting.
'Cause everything has
actually-
to be super directional.
I think Green Bank Observatory, it must also have actual telescope because it's talking about snapping photos of the moon.
I imagine so, because why would you just
So,
have that?
We don't claim to know how a radio telescope works, so if any listeners know,
So
text us.
the other
call us.
thing that it's protecting is the listening station, NSA listening station, over in the town of where is it? I lost it on the map. Why did I lose it on the map? Sugar Grove.
Wait, are you sure?
Yes. There's an NSA listening station. It's the Sugar Grove NSA listening station. That's literally what it's called.
It's just labeled that on
Oh
Google
yeah.
Maps.
Oh yeah.
We're
Yeah.
like, why try and hide it?
Well, yeah. I mean,
Everybody knows.
so this was actually, it was proven in the Snowden releases that we were using Sugar Grove to listen to.
West Virginia or Virginia?
I think it's West Virginia. Yeah, it's West Virginia.
I am so confused by all this.
Yeah.
I've seen the name Sugar Grove in my travels down there.
Well, right, as you should, because you
I wonder why
live
they-
near there.
Why did they pick this one spot to build this huge thing?
Because it was quiet and it's in the middle of the woods and there's no radio interference.
How many people live in this town? That's what I want to know.
Well, the bigger question is how many people live in that 13,000 square mile area that it's completely silent?
Didn't I just say that?
You said the
No,
town.
because 13,000 square miles.
13,000 square miles is
Oh,
huge.
that's-
Like it's a huge area, and it covers Green Bank and Sugar Grove,
Wow.
and it's massive. The area covers 13,000 square miles.
I mean, there is a national forest up in that area that probably eats up a lot of that space.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's a ton of
Shenandoah.
it's not like there's a ton of people living there. There's no big cities or anything, but it's still a massive area.
Interesting.
A lot of small farms, a lot of trees, a lot of woods, a lot of chicken farms. But yeah, I mean, so it's they send trucks around sniffing for radio signals and
Why would they want to search for stuff there though?
to shut them down so that they don't interfere with the telescope.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
You know what? This is like when pilots tell you to turn your cell phones off because it's going to interfere with the electronics in the airplane.
except this actually does interfere with the electronics in the airplane.
12
How do you know?
airplane crashes a second caused by you texting.
Yeah, we all know
12
that's not
airplane
true.
crashes a second. Wow, that's pretty awesome.
It's pretty
That's
crazy.
the statistics, Jeff. We are a show of hard hitting and terribly inaccurate statistics. Guys, I really wish I was back in Maybury sometimes. No Wi-Fi. No. What? Huh?
Well, you wouldn't have to go to Mayberry. You just have to go
Just have to go to the National
West
Quiet
Virginia.
Zone? Yeah, I know.
Was Mayberry in West Virginia?
I'm wondering that. No,
It was in
wasn't.
South Carolina, I believe.
Okay.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was in South Carolina because of Raleigh was in North Carolina, and they used to always go to Raleigh.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Boom! See that?
Wow, that's a reference.
Look at that.
I watch a lot of Andy Griffith.
Perry Cuomo. I mean,
That and
Andrew
Rocket
Cuomo.
I do.
And Andrew Cuomo this
Did
week.
you just say Perry Cuomo?
I did.
So we're talking about singing then, right?
Mathis's name recall, like a couple segments earlier, he's like, what was it? What was he doing with the movie guys? He was saying Rogers Hammerstein or something like that.
Yeah,
And now we got Perry Cuomo. He's big on the music names.
I don't do well with names. I've got. I hate to admit this. We've got this group that we're leading, a small group for church. It's like 10 weeks long, and I just learned. We're on week like 7 or 8. I just learned the names of the people in the group. It's like 12 people. It's terrible. It's so terrible.
Hey there, Buck.
I know. I'm like, we're like in the middle of discussion, and I'm bouncing to
Hey,
someone else, and I'm like, wait.
buddy.
So and so had something.
Do you do the name recall like Michael Scott?
Your head is bald. It is round.
No, I
It is
don't.
shiny like a mirror.
Baldy
Mark.
round face.
Your name is Mark.
I probably should. So was it? Who was telling me this? It was Barack Obama. Barack Obama wasn't telling me this, but this
But that's
involves
what he
Barack
thought
Obama.
his name was.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he
yeah.
thought
Is
the
this,
guy's
is
name
this
was.
like the same thing where it was like you were talking to Reagan, or you watched Reagan when he
Shut up.
take down the wall?
It was right after he watched Reagan's tell Gorbachev to tear down the wall
Apparently-
that Barack Obama walked up and started talking to him.
Apparently, I saw that. I saw a replay of that in the 90s, folks.
By the
It's
way,
okay.
when now this is old. This is 2001. But when Perry Como
playing
No, but here, guys, when Perry Como passed away, he got less of a respectful headline than Al Baghdadi did. It's not the same. It wasn't the Washington Post, but at least according to Billboard, it just says singer Perry Como dead at 88. That's all it said. He wasn't even an austere
He wasn't even
singer.
austere. So Obama would remember everyone's name. That's where I was going with that, guys. And so
And he told you that.
no, Jeff.
He walked up and he was like, "Aaron,
Jeff,
I
shut
remember."
up. Jeff, shut up. No. He just he knew everyone's name. He had excellent name recognition. I do not. So if I could only harness some of the power
So
of Obama.
that's like your only example is like Obama could remember people's names. I can't.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you. That was a good 3 minutes worth of burn
You're welcome.
time there.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
All right,
So
let's
back
get
to
back
to Perry.
Let's get to Perry.
Back to Perry over here.
Andrew Cuomo.
So bad storms, damaging floods in upstate New York. I mean, Nebraska's been dealing with this all year. It's been because it's a wet year. It's not due to climate change. It's not due to
No,
anything
it's a
else.
wet year due to climate change.
No.
Ooh.
It's
I'm with
just
Jeff.
wet. And do you know who we can blame on this? We can
The
blame
turtle.
We can blame the Army Corps of Engineers, who back in the 1970s adjusted
boy.
their policy.
It's always the government.
Who adjusted their policy from actually protecting farmland to simulating natural flooding.
Wait.
So what they did is they changed their policy.
If they're going to simulate natural flooding, shouldn't they just get rid of the dams?
You'd think so, but they want it for power. For literally power. So what
like
they did,
hydroelectric power?
hydroelectric power. So what they did is they put
that
wind
makes sense.
power.
they put in these dams back in
They want the water for wind power.
yeah, they want the water for wind power.
It's got to keep moving to create wind.
As the water goes over the dam,
like
it
these-
creates some
That's right.
rushing air.
That's right. That's right. So what they ended up doing is they put in these dams to prevent flooding from fields flooding,
From
obviously.
Hard-hitting
my
analysis
English
here.
language here, man. And so, regardless, back in
and we're off of Cuomo again.
I know, but back in the 70s, they adjusted their policy.
He was there too.
Shut up.
He was there when they did the policy.
No wonder why I can't have a serious conversation. You fools.
What are you guys doing? Don't do this. You know what this is going to cause? They're going to piss off the turtle with the thing as a nose.
I saw Reagan tear down a wall and flooding happened.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And Perry Como was playing the music in the background.
But he can't remember the guy's name he was talking to.
Nope, can't.
I'm sorry.
You guys are gold. You guys are gold. I love you guys.
All right, so continue with the 70s and the natural flooding.
So 70s, the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers changed their policy.
I hear that natural flooding happens when you get into your 70s.
Yes, it does. The prostate issues just hit hard. They changed their policies.
Mathis would know because he was around.
Because I was around back when Reagan was born.
Remember, he watched the first movie Mathis ever reviewed was a Reagan.
That's so funny. That's so funny. So yeah, wow. So in the 70s, the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers changed their policy to better represent flooding of farmland and everything else downstream of these dams, because they thought that it was affecting the migration and the breeding habits of the natural animal life.
So they were actually reflooding this stuff, or were they just like, because you keep saying simulated flooding?
So this is an effect. So basically what they do is they release a lot of water in the spring, it floods things, and that's not a problem. That's normally not an issue.
And that's what brings some of the nutrients to the farmland.
But the problem is that when they do this the wrong way, they end up flooding farmland for a long time. So we've got farmland down near Omaha and like all along the Missouri right now that is still under feet of water.
From the 70s?
From
the glaciers melting.
From this year's, because we had a lot of rain and stuff this spring, they didn't release as much water in the spring as they normally would.
So what did Reagan think about this?
So I'm back on track to
We're not on Reagan. Reagan had nothing to do with this.
If they release less water, how can you blame them for flooding when they release less water?
Okay, so they're releasing less water, thinking that they're going to have less water later in the year, because they don't want the levels to fluctuate that much.
Natural assumption.
Yeah, they want the water to fluctuate on a natural level, and unfortunately they miscalculated terribly.
Because it's naturally flooding.
You guys need to pipe some of this water over to California.
I know, right? It makes sense.
How about Flint?
Anyway, so we were back on Perry.
They got water.
Perry Cuomo in New York. And Andrew Cuomo in New York. Lots of flooding up in the Adirondacks. And he gets on and decides to say that well, I guess let's
just hear it.
Let's let Perry speak for himself. Yeah, we have a clip.
Does he sing or does he talk?
I was going to say, I've never heard him talk.
You've never heard him talk?
No, I've only heard him sing. He has some really good songs. My mother liked him a lot.
Oh, okay. Well,
probably his Christmas album.
Yeah.
Who questions extreme weather and climate change is just delusional at this point. We have seen in the state of New York what everyone is seeing. We see these weather patterns that we never had before. We didn't have hurricanes. We didn't have superstorms. We didn't have tornadoes.
Okay.
This is a storm that came up just
I
overnight.
can count 5 hurricanes that hit New York in the last couple of years.
And it was literally a matter of life and death for people. I was at one of these sites this morning. A river overcame its banks with 5 inches of water, ran through a residential neighborhood. This
is ridiculous.
Like
through the last 5 ice ages, we have never had massive swings in weather and temperatures.
He needs to just stick to music.
Through the last 5 ice ages, I swear to you.
I mean, again, I go back to the whole thing.
Don't you think that's funny, though? These are the people that believe in, like, millions of years and, like, millions, all these ice ages and all this stuff, that all these cycles have happened for eons without humans. And then all of a sudden it's our fault because we're here. Now, when you come look at some of their articles, we may have actually prevented. We're like 6,000 years overdue for an ice age if it wasn't for global warming. So we may have actually staved off the next ice age.
So winter's coming here in Nebraska pretty quickly. I'm happy we don't live in an ice age.
Don't you though in Nebraska?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's called 6 months of the
you
year.
have an ice age every single year.
Well, from like November until March. Yes.
Yeah. Like
we basically live on Hoth.
Ooh,
that's a great reference.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I could dig that. Do you have tauntauns?
I mean, the cows kind of look like tauntauns when they're all covered up in ice and snow. I mean, granted they're on 4 legs, but they kind of look like tauntauns.
Do they though?
Yeah, just a little. I mean, it's weird when you cut them open with a lightsaber.
Oh yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah.
That like warm milk though.
The whole conversation went real weird. Yay! So
okay,
back to Perry Como.
Any good recipes for tauntaun while we're on it, or are we just gonna?
Yeah.
I mean,
what are your thoughts on saving the tauntauns?
Is it like the turtles?
October's over.
Those are tatas, Jeff. Tatas.
Not the same thing.
Not the same thing.
Not the same at all.
Not the same. Not the same.
I thought October was Star Wars month.
Speaking of those, the World Series there, guys.
Wow, that was a segue. Next.
Oh, we'll leave that there.
So let's just say, whatever your thoughts on climate change, if I'm going to try to wrap up this Cuomo at least, his assertion that there was literally no bad weather or storms in New York before, until climate change, totally asinine. Like
categorically and factually inaccurate.
Absolutely.
It's category 5 poop storm of BS.
I saw one of those the other day from my 2-year-old.
Tell us how you really feel.
Wait, does that put him on our DA of the week?
It may.
Should that put him in our DA of the week contest?
Yes.
Definitely.
It may. That's a good call.
Anytime Jeff has to use poop storm, it should be a DA thing.
Wow. Do we even bounce to this next story?
I don't know. What is it?
Let's just new segment.
Sure.
Let's take it out, bring it back in. We got to reset. We bounced all over the place.
We so need Tombstone. This is not working out.
I know.
Jeff's supposed to be the serious one.
I know.
I've given up. I just gave up. I need Tombstone back.
We wore him down, Ozzy. It's great.
One of us. One of us.
Smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa.
That was a non-gendered person, Ken, and you just gave it a gender.
I tried this one chili that set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
All right, leave this guy alone with his poor, constipated poops. We're going to come back and talk about politics. That's what really matters here.
Which is hilarious because we're not.
Yeah, bad segment. But.
I don't think we ever come back from a Tombstone intro and talk about politics. It was just
we do.
Well, sometimes.
What are we talking about?
There was an article that came out this week that says people who run late are happier people.
I can already disprove that because my wife would tell you simultaneously that I always run late and that I'm never happy.
How late are you, like, normally?
I don't always run late, but at times, like, I like to be really early for, I guess, key important things.
I mean, you were on time this morning.
Oh, yeah, I was here early this morning.
Yeah, last week you weren't.
Last week there was technical difficulties on your end, as it turned out. Plug in the cord.
What's a few unplugged wires amongst friends? I mean,
I don't know, a radio show.
Well, that's a good point. Good point.
All right, where are we going with this?
This is out of this is News 5 WKRG. People who usually run late also tend to be happier and live longer. This is a story according to Harvard University and the Harvard Medical School. They say that people who run late are often operating with a sense of calm, and that is quite possibly adding years to their lives. Additionally, research has found that an optimistic outlook early in life can predict a better health and lower rate of death during follow-up periods 15 to 40 years. Shock on that.
I gotta say, then I don't see that this is going to be very accurate, because wouldn't that just be causing other stress in other areas, like not being able to have a job because you can't get there on time?
I think the key is it's people who run late because they're just like chill and don't care about being there on time.
So basically everybody in California is going to live forever.
The times that I'm running late, it's because I have 15 other things to get done, and I'm trying to do them all in like a compressed time that they shouldn't be done in. So there's definitely more stress when I'm running late.
Do you guys have wives that run late?
No, my wife likes to be really early.
So we used to be on time for everything until we had kids.
Oh yes.
Wow, that's a completely different.
So I think there's like an allotment of like 5 minutes per child that you can be late.
We had our Bible study group last night at church, and the same folks, I couldn't remember their names.
It was Ronald Reagan and Barack Obama.
It was. They were there. They were there, I swear.
Along with President Trump and Kanye West.
So this is the first time in 8 weeks we were late.
It was Kanye and Perry Como leading work.
Kanye, Perry Como, Ronald Reagan, and Obama.
Walk into a wall.
They were all there. We walked
setup in there somewhere.
It's like I'm always like 15 minutes ahead of schedule, like with the kids. I'm like, we gotta go. Like if we have to be to church at 9, I want we drive 15 minutes to church. I want to be in the car by 8:40. And
that's not 15 minutes early. That gives you 5 minutes to spare.
So
you don't understand.
So I'm saying, listen.
You catch the light cycle wrong.
So at 8:30, I'm like in the car now, and I figure by the time we hit 8:40 or so, we actually get into the car.
I see what you're saying. If you want to leave at 8:40, you start the process at 8:30.
Exactly.
You have to, because there's always something like, oh, I left my shoes inside.
Oh yeah. I don't want the Spider-Man shoes. I want the Captain America shoes.
Why did
buy
you
your
not
kid
think
one
of this
pair of
out?
shoes, Mathis?
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Then they go, I forgot my pants.
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's a very common
pair of pants. You thought getting in the car without your pants?
That's a very common occurrence in our house.
We're going to accept this now.
My guess would be that Mathis is the one that forgets his pants the most in his family.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm not wearing pants right now either, so
I don't want proof.
Oh no, I'm not going to stand up. That's for sure.
Thank you so much.
I don't get paid.
No, it's a challenge. Like I've heard.
I can't say that it's. I think this has got to be like people who run late or people who don't care.
This has to be people that don't give a crap about it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This is not like the parents who are like, we're running late and are trying to get their kids in the car.
Those people definitely die way sooner.
Right. There's no way that it's those people. It's people who are just don't care and don't have.
Did you guys ever have?
These are the people that roll up late, and when their window rolls down, like a cloud just rolls out of the car.
Did you ever have those?
Like, hey man,
the cops.
What's up?
All right. Did you guys ever have the roommates in college who like set their clocks ahead 10 minutes?
No, I don't know.
Because I never did that. No, heck no.
You're literally asking your college roommate that question.
I know, but I'm like you had other college roommates.
See, my wife would say I do that now because I have a tendency to hit the snooze button. Like I'll say I'm going to get up really early and give myself plenty of time, and then I hit the snooze button and then scramble.
All I know is that I had my clock set for 6:45 this morning because I knew we were recording at 7 a.m. and you guys start texting at like 6 a.m. So
it's not that early.
It was like, so early.
I did
like
wake
6:05.
up. I did wake up about an hour before my alarm went off and had to take a leak. But
thank you for that information.
I woke up and had to, but I didn't.
Ooh, see,
it was bad. It was bad.
I know it's always the gamble. Like, do I get out from under the sheets because I'm comfy, but it just gets miserable.
The struggle is real. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
I really don't have a problem with getting up. I honestly don't. Like, that's the one thing I don't really have a problem with is getting up on time. Like I did in high school.
Oh, no, I got up when my alarm went off for this show too, but I was up an hour before my alarm because my bladder decided to wake me up.
So you just stayed up? You didn't go back to bed?
That's when I started texting you guys. No, I went back to bed for an hour.
Oh, and you texted us from bed?
Do you have old man problems now, Jeff?
No, I just drank a lot before.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't have old man problems, but I drink a lot. I drink at least 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons during the day, and like I drink a half liter before I go to bed.
I don't think that's
and so
possible.
I wake up.
Math is just like main lines a gallon.
Okay,
jug of water right
not 2 gallons. Sorry.
2 gallons of water.
Hold on. No.
Do you just catheterize yourself before you go to bed because you've been getting up every 20 minutes?
He's got a drip.
My conversion from liters to gallons was messed up. I drink.
Sounds like me trying to buy paint.
I drink 4 liters of water during the day.
Nice.
I drink 2.5 to 3 liters while I'm on the road, and then I drink another liter at home before, like in the evening, dinner, and before I go to bed. And I drink like a half liter before I go to bed.
That is impressive.
The problem is that the half liter before bed, I got to get up at least once during the middle of the night to go.
Yeah, well, that's killer. A half liter right before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Because your body apparently just decides to process fluids faster while you're sleeping.
Right. So, like, and the problem is our house is so dry that if I don't drink before I go to bed, I'm parched during the middle of the night, so I have to get up and get water anyways.
You know they make these things called humidifiers.
Yeah, but
why don't you just get a drip? Just get a drip.
just a dribbler. A drip.
Ivy, just
I can do one of those rabbit dribblers off the side of the bed. roll over.
That's not what I'm talking about at all.
Because we install those in our baby cribs, you know.
This is just got your baby crib. You just got a hamster water bottle on your baby's crib. Oh my goodness!
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Kids are hardcore independent, man.
That's Tombstone at the Front Porch Show.
You have diapers all over this. We're gonna get inside this guy's house and find the water drip for his kids. Is it like giant size?
Or is it just normal size?
Just regular size.
He created it. It's a 5-gallon bucket.
It's a 5-gallon bucket,
one of those.
Do you
and then
hang it on the refrigerator for your kids?
Like a 1/4-inch steel pipe with a ball in the end of it, with like a billiard ball.
It's tapped right into the milk jug, so they can just walk up to the fridge, get a hit of milk, and move on.
I've got nothing else. I don't even. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
We were talking about people being on time, but
yeah.
Wow.
We didn't go off topic at all.
No, never. Because that wouldn't be us. I mean,
gosh,
we would never do that.
Tombstone, please come back.
To do at the end, I wanted to do like products liability, as in You know, if that camera explodes all over that guy, we'd sue the camera company and their insurance company, you see.
How did Yale out-rebound Baylor? You go up and grab the ball off the rim when it comes off, and then you grab it with two hands, and you come down with it, and that's considered a rebound. So they got more of those than we did.
Solid explanation.
It's like your movie reviews.
I know.
The headhunter guy brought me from Borneo, which was kind of nice of him. He couldn't get me a shrunken head, so I got a T-shirt.
I just want a shrunken head for some reason now.
That needs to be a Front Porch Show T-shirt. Like, I couldn't get a shrunken head, so all I got was this dumb T-shirt or something.
Yes. Oh man! Congratulations to the Washington Nationals. They won the World Series.
Yay!
Yeah. Congrats! It's the first time in franchise history. Correct?
Yes.
That was like the first time they had been back in like 80 years, wasn't it?
I didn't realize they used to be the Montreal Expos.
Oh yeah, those teams,
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they won. So this was a weird thing because every single game won was a non-home victory, was an away victory.
That's true. Both game 1 and 2, both of them were away victories in this series.
All seven, though. All
of them were away victories.
All of them were
in the whole series.
In the whole series.
The whole series.
Yes, that's right. Because Houston went out there tight. Yeah.
It was
that's
super
really weird.
super weird. Jeff, Ozzy, we're not talking about that story.
Game 6 is in the past.
Game 6 is in the past. We don't need to see your. Never mind. We're keeping our clothes on, unlike the lovely
I thought we weren't
Instagram
talking about it.
models at the guys.
It was to raise awareness for saving the Tauntauns, and I don't know why you went there, because
they weren't saving the Tauntauns, Jeff.
All right, so
they were
anyway,
selling a product.
Back to and we can't talk about that product on the air.
No, we can't.
Derails
inevitably
derails us.
You're welcome.
You actually started that, Ozzy.
Ozzy. Technically, Ozzy started taking off his clothes. But anyways,
back to the World Series. So the Nationals win. Did you see the guy that lost a ton, like $12 million or something like that? Mattress Mac is his name?
What in the world?
What?
So there's an Astros fan. Let's see here.
That was a bad bet.
I'll pull up the article. I forgot. So here's the deal. It may have actually been better. So
how could it be better than losing 12 million?
It could have been
because let's see here.
411.
I was reading the article earlier, and now I got to find it. But essentially, he ran a promotion at he owns a mattress store. That's why I call him Mattress Mac. And like I don't know. I mean, I think they sell other things besides mattresses.
Never trust a guy who starts his name with the furniture.
Yeah, that just sounds kind of weird.
I'm Couch McGee.
He ran a promotion back at the beginning of the season, all season long, that people who spent more than $3,000 at his store, their order would be free if the Astros ended up winning the World Series. So essentially, like all season, he had this thing going on that if you spent $3,000 at his store, if the Astros ended up winning, he would reimburse you.
So they didn't win, so that's good.
This man must have been very nervous.
And so if they had won, he claims that the liabilities from this promotion, he would have had to pay back over $20 million to people who took up on this promotion. So he started he ended up, when he saw how this was going to go, he went out and started placing bets. He had to go bet at multiple places because they wouldn't allow him to bet as much as he wanted to bet.
Well, yeah, because betting's illegal.
Approval. He had to, well, it's legal in some places, some sports book places.
Yeah, I guess.
And he basically went out and made these bets. So right here, his biggest single bet was $3.5 million in one single bet on the Astros at the Scarlet Pearl Casino in Mississippi. One of the largest bets ever taken at a Mississippi sports book. He made another $1.5 million at the Meadowlands in New Jersey, which was the largest online wager in Jersey. So basically, he made these bets to offset because if he won them, he needed money to cover his losses from the deal. So in the end, even though he lost $13 million, he didn't have to pay back $20 million. So he netted somewhere between $7-8 million.
You know, they make insurance policies for this.
Yeah,
like you can buy an insurance policy to cover a promotion.
And here's the other thing: how much publicity has he now gotten? Free publicity from all of this.
How much profit has he lost? $12 million buys an awful nice boat.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is because he hedged one way, he had to hedge the other way.
I mean,
that's your default.
So he lost.
He
lost $12 million of his $20 million profit. So he still netted. So he still netted $8 million because he hedged either way. And then,
but he didn't
lose much publicity.
He didn't lose the $20 million though.
That's what I'm saying. If the Astros had won, he would have straight up lost $20 million.
Yeah.
So he betted on them winning, so that if they won, he would make money on his bet and cover his $20 million loss. Because they lost, he lost his $12 million, but he kept his 20, so he nets $8 million.
Math is
you don't
funky.
Understand hedging your bets. Anyway,
so that was another interesting. I think it's stupid either way.
Oh yeah, spending that much money on sports is ridiculous. But
because had he taken out, he could take out, like, literally, there's insurance policies you can take out on promotions like this. So you go to this insurance company at the beginning of the season, and you're like, hey, if the Astros win, and the company's like, oh yeah, just $100 a month, and we'll cover that if it happens, and they cover that stupid stuff.
So you want to know something else stupid as a Tigers fan?
Yes.
About this World Series this year.
That is stupid.
Well, yeah, it seems stupid being a Tigers fan right now. So
it's true.
So the Detroit Tigers, I mean, not too long ago, they were pretty good, right? I mean, they won a World Series. They went to the World Series.
I don't remember.
Back.
That wasn't that. Like
it was probably over a decade ago now at this point.
That was a while.
We live in the past here in Detroit.
Not too long ago. It was like 8 years.
The Lions won an NFL championship back in the 50s or something, So but anyway,
they're not due for another one for another 30 or 40 years.
So the Tigers this year clinched the worst record in baseball.
Okay.
But if you go back to their 2014 pitching rotation, you might have recognized some of the names this year. Matter of fact, you got Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander that were squaring off in the World Series this year. So here's the entire 2014 pitching rotation for the Detroit Tigers. Justin Verlander, 2017 World Series champ. Rick Porcello, 2018 World Series champ. David Price, 2018 World Series champ. Max Scherzer, 2019 World Series champ. And Anibal Sanchez, also with the Nationals, for a 2019 World Series champ. So in the last 3 years, the entire starting rotation from the Tigers in the 2014 has won a World Series, but not wearing a Tigers jersey.
Not wearing a Tigers jersey.
That is absolutely frustrating to sports fans here in Detroit.
Is that the Detroit Tigers are the farm team for anybody who wants to win the World
Apparently,
Series.
If you want to win the World Series, send your pitcher to Detroit for a couple years. Let him have a good season, get a good contract, and then we'll trade him away for cap space or whatever the heck we're doing. And then he'll win a World Series for you.
Oh, man.
Oh gosh! All right.
That's solid. That's
all right.
solid.
So, did you guys see that there was? All right. So this happened a couple years ago, but I think it was hilarious. There was a Florida Panthers man. Okay, so we're talking hockey now. Here we go. This is right up Jeff's alley. So, Florida Panther man was at a game in Florida and just randomly got hit in the head with an octopus.
It's not random. It's not random. I can guarantee you what team they were playing.
And
they were probably playing the Detroit Red Wings.
Absolutely.
Were they?
Was it a
Okay.
playoff? Was it a playoff game?
Let's see if it was. Let's see.
Now this story is a couple years old, right?
It is.
Yes.
But it's hilarious. And what's even funnier is if you watch the video, they interview the guy that got hit, and he is just like dumbfounded that he got hit with this thing and completely doesn't understand that this is a Detroit tradition, which doesn't really make sense because, like, hockey isn't that. I mean, it's popular, but it's like, like a lot of traditions are known just universally, like that. You know that with Detroit. Like, they throw octopus.
Guys,
So
where do you source an octopus?
Well, you can't do it legally, if I'm correct. Like
you probably got to go to you
can't
Chinese
pick 'em. You can't-
Chinatown food like sushi type stuff.
If I'm correct, I believe they're not allowed to do this anymore. Like,
no,
you get kicked out of the stadium
in the new
rink,
right? In the new rink, I think they've really cracked down on it.
Yeah.
When they moved in Little Caesars Arena, which is a shame. It's great because Al Sabatka, the head, I don't know, you don't call him groundskeeper, rink manager. The
ring man.
He's the ring man.
The rink manager. When they come out and scrape him off the ice, he picks him up and he'll sling him around his head to get the fans just all riled up. He's like slinging them around in the air. I mean, they actually have like a giant
it's like
octopus.
a PETA nightmare.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's absolutely a nightmare as far as PETA goes.
That's
I'm sure.
so funny.
But it's awesome, and it goes back to because the Red Wings are one of the original 6, and it goes back to the old. One of the original 6 teams in the NHL.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And so it goes back to the old, you had to win 8 games. In the playoffs,
Right,
you had to win 8 games to win the Stanley Cup.
Right. And
so
if
the
they
8
did
legs
that,
of the octopus symbolize and honestly, like the Red Wings, of course, their symbol is a winged wheel with Motown and stuff like that in cars. But if they had a mascot, I guess, like the octopus essentially is their mascot.
Definitely.
They have a giant octopus thing that I don't know if you call it a statue, but they bring it down from the ceiling during the playoff games and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Very interesting.
Well, there
Which,
you go.
speaking of movie reviews, that's what I could have reviewed. So I did watch a movie the other day on the Russian 5. I don't know if I told you guys about this, how I'd wanted to see it.
I don't know.
So they've put out kind of a drama on the Russian 5 were 5 hockey players. The Red Wings were kind of the first team to go get Soviet bloc players in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And bring them over and play. And we ended up getting 5. They all played on a line together. And that's kind of because the Red Wings in the early 80s into the late 80s were horrendous. They called them the Dead Wings. They were so terrible, kind of like they've gotten the last couple of years. And then with the drafting of Steve Yzerman and that whole era there when they got good and won those few Stanley Cups, they had the Russian 5. So it was pretty interesting how literally two of the players, Sergei Fedorov and Vladimir Konstantinov, they basically convinced them to defect from Russia. They were both on the Russian military team, and they defected from the Soviet Union and just pieced out and came to the U.S. It's pretty interesting little documentary on the Russian 5. So
money speaks.
Wow.
Mathis's eyes have glazed over because it wasn't Hitler killing Bigfoot.
No. I'm good. I'm good with that. My eyes are still
the
here.
moral of this story is watch out if you're at a Red Wings game because you might get hit in the head with an octopus.
Especially during playoff time.
Especially during playoffs, yes.
An octopus, though, guys. An octopus.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
The essence of the American character is to explore new horizons and to tame new frontiers. We must have American dominance in space. Very importantly, I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the 6th branch of the armed forces.
Wait for it to drop. Wait for it to drop.
You didn't wait.
Just wait.
I don't think it drops.
That dropped. Dropped. The beat drop, man. You don't know anything about beats. Jeff is too white.
I know everything about beets. I learned from Dwight Schrute.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. Sugar beets?
Actually ate some beets last night.
Why would you do that?
Salad.
Why would you do that?
Because they were in the salad.
Beets.
Number one, why would you eat a salad? Number two, why would you eat a salad?
Battlestar Galactica.
I don't know. Okay. You guys remember when we talked about Asgardia, right?
Absolutely not.
Yes, as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Space citizens, the folks who were
not even remotely the same thing. I know that.
The folks who not
they are too, because Thor is with the Guardians of the Galaxy at the end.
Yeah, but Thor isn't part of this craziness.
No, we're talking about
Asgardian.
the crazy folks who are creating their own space nation.
Yes, we were there. All these old Europeans that have ruined their own countries, so now they want to go ruin.
Now they want to ruin space.
So that means Bernie Sanders is part of
for
this,
the simple
right?
sum of 100 euros, you too can be a space citizen.
But wait, there's more.
100 euros.
100 euros.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
just
like
to get your citizenship.
No. So get this, guys.
It's like $120
for 120 bucks, you receive your citizenship.
Isn't it? It's like
to
about
Asgardia.
$130.
You also receive a handful of solar, which is Asgardia's own cryptocurrency, and the opportunity to upload your photo to a small satellite that orbits Earth. Because that's the only flag they've got up in space is their satellite.
Is there satellite? It'd be $129.
Oh, dude, nailed
it. So you nailed it as of today.
Pretty close.
Yeah. One pound sterling is $1.29.
Anyhow, they are
so you could do 100 pounds.
They don't aspire to put people on Mars, unlike Elon Musk. They want space babies.
What?
Yes.
Wait.
They want children born in space.
Why? So that they can be like disfigured because of the lack of
That's a really
gravity?
good question. That's a really good question.
I can't imagine
that's
pregnancy
scary.
in space would be good. Because I
think gravity has a big effect on stuff like that.
Right. Well, that's what they do with the astronauts. That's why the astronauts have to work out so much in space, is because they lose body mass and bone mass.
But that's
of
because
the lack of weight.
But that's because your body is used to resisting that weight. I mean, when you're floating around in the womb,
but you're not floating. You're
not actually resisting. But you're not building muscle by like resisting anything.
Yes, you are.
In the womb, you're growing.
Babies move around, Jeff.
Yes, I know they move around.
They're fighting gravity.
Yep.
I guess. I don't. That'd be interesting. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, let's send Oslo into space and put a baby in him.
Listen, if we do that, we're going to be billionaires.
Junior.
It's 2019. Men can have babies
for so many reasons. For so many reasons, we'd get rich off this.
None of them good.
I mean, you could have simulated gravity in outer space. You just have to spin. Whatever.
Yeah, but it's not that good.
You just have to have technology that we haven't made yet.
Yeah,
it's centrifugal force. It's just centrifugal force.
Theoretically, you can move at the speed of light too, but that's technology we haven't made yet.
I mean, you have to have enough of a. Wow.
Listen, I don't care how.
What a yawn! What a yawn!
I apologize.
I'm talking about having babies in space, and I'm
yawning. I know. I know. You'd think I'd be wide awake here.
Nope.
It's like, hey, babies in space. So weird. So
where else are we going with this?
They're still. They think it's going to happen by 2041. That's their goal. 2041.
They also believe that discrimination runs through most efforts to colonize space.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
How did we not cover this last time?
Say that again.
In this article you have here, the whatever this guy's name is, Ashurbali, notes, he says that discrimination runs through most efforts to colonize space. Only about 20 countries of 229 have access, describing national space agencies as selfish.
Oh, guys.
We're not letting...
Is this going to pinch us for copyright? What? I want to play the Asgardian national anthem.
Oh, do it. We're going to get sued by a space country.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Okay, here we go, guys.
Our military is probably larger than theirs.
It's going to be 120
The front porch show
My personal military is larger than theirs. Here we go. Asgardian national anthem.
It's their actual words?
A bunch of little children standing there singing. I guess it's a girls' choir. Wow. Oh my god.
That's not creepy at all. Children singing about all the nations finally being one.
Okay, guys, we can't avoid this. The guy here on who's in charge of everything. Look at him. He looks like the guy from
Scotty.
No.
You can't really see him very well.
He looks like the guy from... Oh, there. Can you see it better now?
Colonel Sanders?
Yes, Colonel Sanders there. He looks like the guy from Men in Black.
Oh, the one that actually had the little tiny alien in his head
with the little dude inside the big dude's head.
Oh my gosh, it is.
With the had the galaxy.
It is
with the cat. Yeah,
it is. Yes,
I think it's the same guy.
That would be epic.
I think it's the same guy. I'm pulling up a side by side here. Where what was his name? I can't remember.
Hard hitting news.
I know. Oh, we can't play that. Can't play that. There.
Up.
It does look a lot like him.
I'm telling you, that is him.
Let's see. Flip it back.
It's not that close.
It's him. Look at that. It's him. He's a little older and gained a little weight.
Maybe
that's him. He's a little older and gained a little bit of weight. But it's the dude with the little dude inside the big dude's head. Yeah, I know.
So how does he get older and gain weight?
I don't know.
Listen, it obviously they have to keep up appearances if he stayed the same age.
It's true. Witness protection.
No. Yep.
It's magic, Jeff. It's magic.
Wow.
That hard hitting analysis here.
All right.
So the guy in charge of Asgardia.
You see anybody coming at you with sunglasses on and what looks like a really fat pen, run away. For more reasons than one.
Because it's probably Aslan.
Oh man. So.
Oh no.
So weird. So yeah, they're saying 2041 they want a baby born in space, but Netherlands has the Space Life Origin project that they want to send a pregnant woman to a space station in 2024.
Why?
Because they want her to give birth in space. I think the ethics of this are questionable.
Would that be like the most, because they say like the tub birth makes it, because floating in the water just makes everything easier. So there's literally no gravity.
Ozzy, do you have experience in this?
Space
You're shaking your head
birth may
like
be
you've
the
done research on this.
Not with the tub birth, no.
Oh, okay.
Just with birth in general. I mean,
we have some friends that were big on the tub birth.
It's not exactly.
So
it's not like it is on TV at all.
So the baby.
Well, duh.
Can you imagine it being in space?
It's not actually an older baby with like some jelly smeared on it for a movie.
It's not like.
Yes.
So I'm
had sure it would be a mess.
There's a lot of things that would be extremely horrible that would happen.
Yes.
With no gravity. I'm just saying.
But maybe some of those things wouldn't happen as bad with no gravity. Or maybe it would all go flying everywhere with no gravity. We don't know. That's what this experience is.
All I'm saying is thank God for gravity. Because Jeff, it can get morbid.
Oh, I'm sure.
The process is not a pretty process.
Speaking of which, what happens if you have a problem up there?
Well, right.
Space doctors.
Get on the phone with a,
Right,
space ambulance.
Yeah, that's it.
I can see this little craft taking you back to Earth.
The Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
It did the Kessel run in 12 parsecs.
Right.
That's true.
Which means it can get someone to a hospital pretty fast.
A measure of distance or something like that.
Of course.
It's not.
First we have to invent transporters.
Shut up, Chef.
First we have to invent transporters.
We have transporters. It's a big ship that transports you from one place to another.
Gotta be beamed, man.
Transformers?
Beamed. Oh, dude, never trust a transformer. I laughed. My wife laughed. The toaster laughed. I shot the toaster.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
All right. What other hard-hitting space news do you have for us here?
Oh, I have a Trump or Elon tweet.
They didn't have transporters in Star Wars.
So So
just saying.
We don't look it up, Jeff. Don't look it up. Don't look it up.
Don't do it.
He already did.
Why? No, I haven't clicked on it yet.
Oh,
but the whole purpose of it is for me to click on it.
No,
so
the
let's do
whole
this.
point is to figure out whether Trump said it or Elon said it. But I think we're going to add a third person into this, and it's going to be Trump, Elon, or Kanye.
Well, but if you're just adding them now, then we know it's not Kanye.
It's not Kanye today. It's not Kanye today. It's not Kanye. So
Kanye.
For the last 6 weeks,
going to vote Kanye for sure.
For the last 6 weeks, I have been looking for a Trump or Elon tweet.
Wow.
And none of them have really been ambiguous enough to be one or the other.
Right.
Because they both say crazy things, but, you know, normally one of them is space related and the other is just something related. I'll let you figure out whose is what.
So basically, if it's space related, it's Elon. If it's not, it's Trump.
If it's space related, it's definitely Trump. All right, so come on. Give us this quote. You've teased it long enough.
Here's the tweet. Here's the tweet. Something very big has just happened.
That's the tweet. That could have been tweeted by Joe Blow at
the best
Twitter
I could come up with, Jeff.
That made a peanut butter sandwich.
That's terrible.
I know.
No, it's
Was
neither
that Tombstone.
It's neither Trump nor Elon. It's Mathis, and he tweeted it himself just so that he could say he tweeted it.
Oh man, yeah, it's terrible, but it's the best I could come up with, guys.
It's Trump, and it's Trump before he announced the death of Baghdadi.
Yes, it is. You nailed it.
Or what I would like to call canines, which I would like to call dogs.
Oh my goodness.
That speech was epic.
So here's a question: Were you there for the medal ceremony for the dog? Because you were there for the Berlin Wall.
Oh,
were you there for the medal ceremony for the dog?
No, I wasn't. But the Washington Post was.
They were.
Made sure to have a reporter there.
Austere bone barrier awarded Medal of Honor.
It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. But no,
it's a dog-eat-terrorist world out there. Hopefully,
I think you kind of blew up that thing.
And we're going to build that wall. It's going to be a great wall. And let me just tell you, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Never, ever give up. Don't give up. Don't allow it to happen. If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
Guys, it's not Chick-fil-A, but Popeyes chicken is back.
And we care why?
I don't know. Have you tried it yet? I need to try it.
I never did try that sandwich last time they ran that thing.
I'm going to do a side-by-side test next week, as long as Popeyes still has it available.
There better be like a jug full analysis on this.
Oh, there will. I'm planning on doing a video of it. So they are releasing the sandwich again on November the 4th.
What?
No, November the 3rd.
May the 4th be with you.
November the 3rd, which is National Sandwich Day.
Sandwich
so
or
they're
sandwich?
Trying to like disappoint everyone. Is that what?
Basically, I'm pretty sure they're doing it as a slight to Chick-fil-A, who's not open on Sunday, as we learned in the Kanye West song.
Hey, you know what? It probably isn't a slight to them. It's probably because they don't want to lose business.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's a good point.
Every other day of the week, we cannot convince people to go from Chick-fil-A to Popeyes.
Not right.
Let's do it on Sunday. It's brilliant.
I think the Popeyes chicken is going to be too crunchy for the sandwich.
Probably.
Just too much crunch.
That seems to be what happens. Is it's either like it's way too soft, or it's just too crunchy. And this is why Chick-fil-A is brilliant, is because unlike all of these other places, they literally focus on making one thing awesome.
Gentlemen,
and that's all they do. They never change anything.
I had a tragedy yesterday as I was eating my spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah? Did you drop it?
I dropped part of it.
That sucks.
It was so sad. Like the chicken, there was a chicken chunk that fell off.
No, not a chicken chunk.
Yeah.
Was it one of the crunchy chicken chunks?
Yeah, it was. Well, no, like it was a big. It was a big piece too. Like it was at least an eighth of my sandwich.
Do you put the Monterey Jack cheese on the chicken chunks or on the sandwich?
No. I
never change anything. They're going to chicken chunks now.
I'm a purist. I
do pepper jack.
I'm a purist unless I do the deluxe, and then I do the pepper jack.
Pepper jack
on the deluxe. And if I'm really feeling Randy, I'll put on the honey roasted barbecue sauce on it.
Who's Randy?
I don't think that's the word you were going for.
That's not the word I was looking for. That's not the word I was looking for.
Oh my goodness.
I apologize, audience.
I apologize to anyone named Randy.
No, it's worse.
No, it's a lot worse than that.
Apparently. Oh man.
I'm just gonna take it at face value for everyone.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll try and drag it through the mud. Thank you.
If I'm feeling particularly adventurous, no, that doesn't work either.
No, that would have been appropriate the first time around, but now I don't even. Apparently, Mathis likes his Chick-fil-A just a little too much.
So let's talk about Australia, man.
Right.
Vying for DA of the day.
All right, so here we go.
Of the week.
You are vying for DA of the day after that comment.
I do that every day, Jeff.
So here's my story. All right, so you have Australia man, which first off, it's going to be good. So this man,
nothing on but his jocks.
Was he in his jocks?
He was having trouble with his sinuses.
Okay.
Apparently, it had been a long-term thing. So he went to his doctor, and by long-term, I believe it is a few years worth.
Really?
So he goes to his doctor, gets an X-ray of his sinuses or whatever, and the doctor pulls out or figures out that he has a bag of cannabis that he stuck up his nose.
What?
So apparently the man 18 years ago went to jail or was going to jail, didn't have anywhere to stash his cannabis, didn't want the police to find it, so he shoved it up his nose and then forgot about it for 18 years.
It says he thought he swallowed it when he shot it up his nose.
18 years.
18 years. This man had this up his nose, a bag of cannabis up his nose.
So he couldn't breathe.
He also
out that
had
one
headaches.
nostril.
Right.
Well, the sinus pressure from having
it became a problem as of recently. It became a problem enough for him to actually go to his doctor, and that's what they.
It was.
So the CT scan. The CT scan looks really weird. Like I don't quite understand what it's supposed to look like normally.
I don't either.
It was sure. It was, and I quote, "It was a rubber capsule containing degenerate vegetable plant matter."
Now, I wonder if when they're saying degenerate vegetable plant matter, if they just think you're a degenerate if you smoke weed. So
maybe I don't know.
Actually, it degraded over time. Yeah. I think it had degenerated over time.
So looking here, Jeff, at this CAT scan, this on the right there. There's supposed to be a cavity there, and you can see the capsule.
Yeah, and you can see the capsule stuck. From the front, it looks really weird.
But from
I don't even know how to. But from the top view, you can see the gap that's plugged in the sinus.
Yeah. But from the front, it's a little
looks
bit
like
confusing.
A maze. I don't know what's going on.
Those are sinus cavities.
I think actually.
Passages.
So on the left side of that one, it's supposed to curl up and connect to the other passages there.
Yeah.
And I think that's it right there. So
those are where the worms got him.
They thought it was a calcified legion.
I kind of like his eye, though. I kind of like his eye in that first photo, where it shows just kind of the shade of his eyeball in the socket.
This is a little weird.
It's very cool looking.
But yeah.
Anyway, so if
18
you're
years
going to jail, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Guys, you're not supposed to snort weed.
It could be that the turtle had a pot balloon in its nose and not a straw.
Oh, so get this. Speaking of balloons and noses, so we have.
I don't trust.
Why do you have an
I know
that exact scenario?
We're watching. I'm watching. So I'm on security at church, and I'm watching the security
Do you
cameras.
guys snort balloons at church?
Well, somebody does. I'm watching this kid on the video, and I'm like, I think he's using his nose to blow up a balloon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lo and behold, he was blowing. And so this kid, amazing talent. He kind of works this balloon up his nose, and then just gives it a good blow, and he blew up the balloon with his nose
in like one shot.
Yeah,
or like a couple puffs.
So he got one big blow to get it, past that point of no return, and then he kind of worked it a little bit and got it full size.
I don't want to pop that balloon.
That's the point of no.
Can you just imagine popping that balloon?
Yeah.
And then just boogers
I was like,
everywhere.
I couldn't believe it. It was amazing footage. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. That is talent right there.
That is awesome. Bring that kid on the show.
That is talent. I'll see what we can do. I'll see if maybe like for the Christmas special we can get him to blow up balloons over
like
here.
the front porch talent show.
It'd be amazing.
You qualify.
Oh man,
I
nailed
like
it.
That. That's
golden
hilarious.
buzzer right there.
That's hilarious.
So Mathis, I got to ask.
Yeah.
Did you put up the DA of the day poll for last week's options?
I
for
forgot.
Our
I didn't
listeners?
yet, but I plan on doing it today because it's Saturday. I figured more listeners will be home.
And Jeff just reminded you?
Yeah, and I just reminded him. He figured he'd do it today because I just brought it up. So last
I've
week's
been
we didn't
intentionally
really get to
delaying it.
vote on. So you got to make sure that you put up on Monday this week's DA of the day. And right now,
DA of the week.
No, day rhymes better, but okay, DA of the week.
I know.
So our options so far are obviously the Australian man, and then we figured the other one has to be the story that we brought you earlier, which was Cuomo claiming that there was no bad weather before climate change.
Please make sure not to write Perry Como on there.
Yeah,
Yes,
no Perry.
Everyone will get very confused.
Perry Como is not.
Perry's
Until they
okay.
listen to this show.
Perry's okay. What was the song he did?
Although,
wow, way to narrow that down.
His song.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. It was kind of like a round.
it's a song he did that was kind of cool.
Still
All
right.
right, shut him down.
What
What else
was
do
that
we have?
song?
Let's see what else we got here. I think we're.
We could have a third option for DA of the day or week.
Life.
DA of the century, really. Beta or Rourke? Robert Francis, the cultural name
Francis.
appropriator, gun grabber, has dropped out of his just amazing run for president. I don't understand why he's yanking the chain so soon.
I would call it a stellar campaign. Stellar campaign.
He has a chance here. He has legitimate chance.
No, his ideas are
they're crowd pleasers.
They are
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he's drawn a good 0.5% of the vote.
Can I pull a tombstone and say I just have nothing good to say about him right now?
I don't even.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you have one good thing to say about him. He stopped his presidential campaign.
He did. He stopped his presidential campaign. Guys. Listener Tim out of Nebraska sent us a note the other day.
We may have found out the true identity of Florida Man.
We learned that Florida Man, that a prominent figure in our society is becoming the new Florida Man.
This is going to be good.
Who is? Or has he always been Florida Man?
Well, he may have been, especially since he owns, Mar-a-Lago. New Florida Man is Trump. Trump has officially changed his residency to Florida.
That's really interesting. Why don't we see if we can get him on an interview and see what he thinks about that?
Well,
how hard could that be, right? We'll get him and Kanye at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm interested because this is I'm not going to lie. All right, so I looked up Florida Man on Twitter, and I didn't realize that Trump was doing this or had done this. And I couldn't, you know how hard it was to find Florida Man stories?
Because it was just referencing Trump moving to Florida?
Was Trump.
Yes.
All of it was Trump. So he is ruining our segment which is another reason why people shouldn't vote for him. There you go.
No. Wait, we're voting for him for DA? Okay.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
But seriously, this is ruining the Florida man stuff because it's so much harder to find good Florida man
What do you
stuff
think the
'cause it's all
motivation
about
of him
Trump.
moving his residency to Florida is?
I think it's just a statement that
it's
Florida
New
is
York.
cheap.
It's New York.
Yeah.
Taxes
Florida's cheap in New York is ridiculous.
Taxes and the fact that they want his tax forms.
Yeah, I'm surprised he stayed with his residency there as long as he has, to be honest.
Yeah. I think there were legal reasons of why he stayed, like for tax reasons. You have to stay in a certain place for a certain amount of time. But it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yes.
I had a couple of people mention that to me since that article popped, and they were saying, odds are it's because of the legal issues in New York.
Probably.
And, no shock there.
Probably,
no shock there.
Yep. You know what it is? He wants to be able to drink a big chug instead of having 2 16-ounce things of soda. That's what it is.
It makes sense.
Can we not say big gulp? So you had to say big chug.
I couldn't remember what it was called.
I couldn't remember what it was called.
I don't know. It's like
What's
is
a big
gulp
chug?
copyrighted now? Like you can't say Super Bowl.
You know what I should have said?
Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Oh,
I should have said
the big game.
I should have just said jugs.
The big game and the big chug.
Jugs of stuff.
Oh boy.
We have completely devolved.
All right,
guys.
Let me set up a controversial one for next week.
Oh, do tell.
Seems how we're out of time for controversy this week. Hopefully. So, controversial topic for next week: how soon is too soon for Christmas music? Because here we are 2 days after Halloween recording this, and I know there's some of you out there that already have the Perry Cuomo Christmas album just rocking.
Some of you are confused as to who that is.
Thanksgiving.
Just because of today. You're welcome.
Thanksgiving.
You can't answer it. Stop it.
I'm walking through Menards the other day.
We're teasing the next statement. Stop talking about it.
I'm walking through Menards the other day, Ozzy, and the entire Christmas display is up.
Music.
12-foot Christmas trees, all the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It's
Too soon.
Too soon. Way too soon.
They probably got Valentine's Day stuff out somewhere already.
More than likely. Check CVS or Walgreens.
Easter, man. Easter.
Oh, we forgot Easter.
Jeez.
www.thefrontporchshow.com. Check it out. Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, YouTube. We're there. We're rare. We're talking. We're having a good time.
All right.
Catch you guys
to shut
next
him
time.
up, call us, text us, email us. Let us know what you think about how soon is too soon for Christmas music.
That's
and we'll
Tombstone at the Front
try
Porch Show.
to not let Mathis ruin that segment next week.
Later.